welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Sierra and I'm so glad that you could be joining me today. I have quite the embarrassing story time with all of the receipts. I got scammed on Twitter. I know what you're thinking. How did you get scammed? You're not 80 years old. No hate to my 80-year-old watchers out there. But no, and I got scammed. I am 20 years old. And yeah, I got scammed over Twitter. It's probably the most embarrassing story time you're gonna hear on this channel, at least for a while. I am sharing the story, so hopefully it does not happen to you. With that being said, let's get into the story time. So I, like pretty much the entire rest of the world, have wanted nothing more for the past year or so than to see Miss Taylor Swift at the Eras Tour. I was not able to secure tickets during the Great War with Ticketmaster and have since resorted to trying to find them online from resellers because that's really the only option. And when I tell you I am not in the financial or mental state to justify spending upwards of $3,000 for tickets to the Eras Tour for me and my fiance. As one does, I started looking for other options outside of StubHub, SeatGeek, etc. And that led me down the Twitter ticket sphere rabbit hole. If you know, there is an online group. This is not who the video is about. As far as I know, this group is completely legit, and that is Eras Tour Resell. However, where there is a good thing, there are people trying to capitalize off of it, and that is what put me in this situation. So I should have done more research. This is 100% on me for being scammed, and a little bit on the people who scammed me, but I should have done more research into who I was sending my money to. Because I found another group, separate from the legit group, another group. And when I tell you, I just wanted them to be legit, like from the bottom of my heart, I just wanted it to be real. That I saw the red flags, but justified them in my brain. I explained them away. So that way, it was like, yeah, I am getting tickets for extremely cheap. I will have all the dates pop up on the screen so you guys can see how long this has been going on. I was outside, we were barbecuing, and I saw a notification pop up on my phone that tickets were going on sale at the Canadian show, which was the show closest to me. I live in California, but you know, it's only like a 10-hour drive to get there from where I am. And we've been wanting to go to Canada anyways. So I was like, cool, Canadian show. And the tickets were only $420. So at this point, it's nearing the end of the month. And with the end of the month comes rent, right? And I don't know about you, but I have to save up money for rent because it's kind of expensive. So I messaged them and I was like, hey, if these tickets are still available, I would love to have a chance in getting them. They responded back to me immediately. That should have been my first red flag, was that other people were not trying to get these tickets for $420. That should have been my first red flag. It wasn't. They messaged me asking if I had the money, if I could send them over, and then they'd get the tickets transferred over to me. I told them that I only had $200 to send them that day. I would send them the rest the next day I got paid. They said, we are not sure if the seller's okay with that. Give us a second while we talk to the seller. In my head, this justified that there was another person involved because it really kind of, in my head at least, made it seem like they were talking to another person, like an actual seller. And so I was like, okay, that sounds legit. It was a little bit of back and forth. They ended up saying, okay, that's fine, send the $200 and we'll take the rest on the day we discussed. So I sent the $200 via Venmo, and I turned on the payment protection thing for Venmo, and I didn't hear anything from them until I believe it was the next day or a couple days later. And they messaged me and they said that they never received the money. Venmo put a hold on it. And in my head, I was like, okay, maybe it's because I turned on the buyer protection. It's a lot of money. It's sending to somebody who's not in my contacts, who I've never sent money to before. Okay, maybe they're like putting a hold on it until they verify some information. So at this point, it was just a little bit of back and forth. It was me asking if the seller had received the money, then being like, nope. Day comes around, I get paid. I send them the other $240. They say, thank you, we received your payment. This time it was over PayPal, and they made sure to specify that I put friends and family on the PayPal. That should have been another red flag. It wasn't. Because in my head, I was like, they're just trying to avoid the hold. So they told me that the tickets were going to be transferred over to me. All I needed to do was respond to an email from Ticketmaster. I'll have the email pop up. It was asking for $150 extra for the verified fan Taylor Swift package. I looked this up. I Googled it. I guess I didn't Google very hard because I couldn't find anything on it. And so I was like, okay, maybe it's a real thing. I don't know. I just want the tickets. I want it to be over with. If they're trying to scam me out of an extra $150, but I get the tickets anyways, it's still cheaper than the $3,000 I would have spent. So I sent them that money as well. So at this point, we are up to about $750. So I sent them that, and they're like, okay, let me verify with the seller. So I'm like, Jesus, when am I going to get my tickets? And at this point, I'm like, it's a scam. It was going through my head. I was like, it's a scam. I started Googling, which I should have done in the first place more of. I didn't like Googling, and any red flags that I saw, I was like, nope, unrelated. So the first thing I Googled was the Ticketmaster Taylor Swift fan package. And sure enough, this time when I Googled it, it popped up that it is a very common scam technique. And I looked at the email that it was sent from, and I looked at the emails that come from Ticketmaster themselves. Didn't match. Not a real email. So I was like, okay, I'm definitely getting scammed. And then I started looking through their tweets versus the actual real resellers' tweets. And I noticed how many of them were lining up, like word for word, exact tweets. I'll have that pop up here too. And how many of the tickets that the scamming reseller group was copying over from the real reseller group. And then I searched their name on Twitter, seeing if anybody else was saying anything about them. Keep in mind that this reseller group has their comments off. Should have been another huge red flag. But alas, they have their comments off. I did a little name search. There's only a couple people talking about them, but their like screenshots of their conversations with this reseller group literally matched mine. Like more or less word for word. And I was like, okay, it's a scam. Hello, editing Sierra here. I forgot to put this into the video, but they asked me if I could reach out to Venmo. I don't know why, but they wanted me to try to release the hold. So I did, and Venmo told me that there was never a hold to begin with. They had the money the whole time. Let me call my bank, file a report. I hate phone calls. These people made me do a phone call. That's the part that I'm probably mad about the most. So at this point, I don't even really care about getting tickets to the Eras Tour. I'm like, I want my money back, because with the fees and everything for all the transfers, it was almost $800. And in this day and age, that's kind of a lot of money. I messaged them and I said, can you just issue me a full refund? And I said, yeah, I'm sure Venmo and PayPal will issue you a full refund. And that's where our conversation stopped. I have yet to respond. They haven't blocked me, which is very, very surprising, because I'm sure they have a long history with blocking people. I am still not blocked. But they also have not tried reaching out to me since that last conversation we had. So where I am right now, I got my money back from my bank. Thank God. I have learned my lesson, and I am making this video for you guys to make sure you send your money to trusted people. All right? Not this group. Don't do it. And I learned my lesson to be a little smarter, actually a lot smarter. So hopefully I don't get scammed in the future. I'm very embarrassed by it. But what you gonna do? You live and you learn. And that, my beautiful people, is how I got scammed on Twitter. Not my proudest moment. If you guys like this story time, please, please, please give it a like, subscribe. I post on here every single Monday, and I'm trying to post like shorts and other content more often. If you want to follow me elsewhere, these are my socials. I have, Instagram, Twitter, obviously, TikTok, the whole shebang. And I'm also working on something very, very special, and I'm very excited to tell you guys. Announcement is coming sooner than you think. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to be safe out there, okay? Be safe. Don't make my mistakes. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!